of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. The head of the Hamas movement in Gaza, Khalil al-Hayya, confirmed the initiative aimed at reaching a permanent truce and a total withdrawal of Israeli troops from the devastated Palestinian enclave. He announced that the next Thursday, February 20th, the bodies of 4 Israeli hostages would be handed over. The leader also confirmed that next Saturday, 6 Israeli prisoners would be exchanged for 602 Palestinian detainees, 157 of whom are serving life imprisonment. Al-Hayya called for the terms of the agreement to be implemented without delay and expressed Hamas' readiness for the immediate implementation of the second phase. And also, the continuing siege of the occupied West Bank by Israeli troops and settlers has generated a humanitarian crisis that has resulted in massive displacement in the territory. Experts have noted that Israel's tactics in the West Bank have become almost indistinguishable from those in the Gaza Strip, ransacking homes and expelling residents using ruthless intimidation. In recent weeks, Zionist forces advances into towns such as Tulkarm, Faram, and Nur Shams, separating families and awakening bitter memories of the war for the creation of Israel in 1948. According to figures published by several NGOs, Israel's military operations in the occupied West Bank has displaced at least 45,000 Palestinians, the largest number since the Middle East War of 1967. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights reported that the M23 rebel group killed 3 children for carrying weapons and closed abandoned by the army in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The organization also expressed its concerns for journalists, human rights defenders, and members of civil society organizations who seek protection from retaliation by M23 rebels. On the other hand, maritime traffic returned to Lake Kivu after the reopening of the ports of the city of Goma and Bukavu, which, according to the UN, could facilitate the entry of humanitarian aid into the country after weeks of fighting and looting. In other news, President Donald Trump said that Ukraine needs elections if they want to place in the negotiations between Moscow and Washington. Trump's statements come after the Kiev regime expressed its dissatisfaction with the meetings in the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, between high-level delegations from Russia and the United States, who seek to normalize relations among both countries and move towards an agreement on the conflict in Ukraine. In this regard, the U.S. president recalled that Kiev had almost 3 years to start negotiations on the settlement of the conflict and declared that Zelensky is a completely incompetent president who makes ridiculous statements and does not know the whereabouts of half of the money allocated to him by the United States. Now we begin with the information. The Palestinian resistance movement Hamas proposed to exchange